Hello, Space Cadets, and welcome to Mueller Planetarium Astronomy at Home. This is Zach Thompson, Planetarium Coordinator at the University of Nebraska State Museum at Morrill Hall in Lincoln, Nebraska, wishing you all clear skies. Today we're going to explore the summer evening skies with the help of Stellarium. Look to the right of your screen for the web address, stellarium.org. You can go there to download the software on your computer for free so you can follow along with us or explore on your own at home. Whenever we're talking about the night sky, remember the most important thing is to have clear, dark skies and be away from light pollution. That includes waiting for nights when the moon is not as full as it appears right here. If you look to the right of your screen, you'll see an almost full moon, and look how much light pollution it's casting around the skies. It really mutes the splendor of the sky. What we're going to do is remove that moon glow, and you see how much better things are when you have clear, dark skies. No light pollution from car lights, building lights, street lights, even light from your phone. And that, of course, includes light from the moon, reflected from the moon. So we begin looking here to the east. We wait until it's nice and dark in the summer season. Of course, you're waiting a little bit later for that to happen, but that's okay. It's all worth the wait. And we look here for three bright stars. They're nice and labeled for us so we can go right to them. Deneb, Vega, and Altair. If we connect these three stars, we get a very familiar shape. We call it the summer triangle. In fact, there is no constellation called the summer triangle. It's called an asterism. And that's why when we just clicked a button here, it opened up all the asterisms in the night sky. You might recall from earlier videos that the Big Dipper itself is an asterism. It's a picture within a picture, a more modern pattern or shape. But it's not an official constellation. However, it's helpful for seeing the night sky a little bit more easily. We come back here to these three bright stars, which are among the brightest of the summer sky, which is great because they should just grab your attention on their own. And it's a familiar shape. But more than just a triangle, these are three separate constellations. And what they have in common are a bright star for each one. Let's start over here with Deneb, this blue-white star. Deneb belongs to Cygnus the Swan, also referred to sometimes as the Northern Cross, which you could see if you just removed these wingtips right here for Northern Cross. But the nice thing about Cygnus is it kind of looks like what it's supposed to. Here are wings. Deneb, the bright star, is the tail, and then the neck and the head of the swan are stretched out through the sky, flying this way. Another way to imagine Cygnus, like this. It's helpful when the constellation we're meant to see with our imagination kind of fits that array of stars, that assortment of them in the sky. Now we'll focus over here on Vega, one of the brightest stars in the summer sky. Very, very prominent, especially overhead. Vega belongs to Lyra the harp, or Lyra the lyre, and lyre would be L-Y-R-E, a small handheld harp. It was once believed to belong to an incredible musician in Greek mythology named Orpheus, who could play it so well that mountains were moved and wild beasts were tamed. So, as an homage to him and music, up there in the sky we have this harp, but prominently with Vega high up overhead in the sky. If you are having trouble seeing this particular shape, remember, make the stars your own. We're just giving you some pointers to start with. That way you have something to stick with when you go out in the sky, but if you see something totally different, that is perfectly fine. And then, let's come over here to the third, Altair, which belongs to Aquila the eagle. Yeah, that's an eagle. Takes a bit of imagination, of course, like it always does, or mostly does, but that's okay. A great eagle, which was said to be a creature that ran errands or did chores for Zeus. So, whatever you imagine, the most important thing to take away from all of this is these three stars belong to three separate constellations. And the easiest way, especially for just getting started, is to look for what you're familiar with. In this case, a big triangle connected by these three bright, prominent stars. And in fact, they will be visible even into the early portions of autumn. So you've got plenty of time to go out there and enjoy. This is how you know for sure that summer is upon us, when the summer triangle is rising high up there in the sky. Hey, look over here to the southeast. We've got two planets, Jupiter and Saturn. They're going to be a bit brighter, especially near the stars that are close to them in the sky, how they appear in the sky. They'll definitely be the brighter. Among these two, Jupiter is the brightest because, remember, that's the largest planet in the solar system. It reflects a lot of sunlight. But if you've got binoculars, you might be able to see these two pretty easily in the same field of view. Otherwise, they're very bright points in the sky. And as we progress through summer, they will get higher and higher. Or if you just want to stay out later in the evening into the early morning, they'll also appear to get higher and higher in the sky as well. We turn fully over here to the south, and we find some of the real full-blown superstars of the summer skies. Let's look here and follow the pointer. There are 3 stars. 1, 2, 3. Unfortunately, if you're looking at this on a small screen like a phone, this is going to be very tricky, but bear with us. These 3 stars, and then we have a bright red orange one called Antares. We start with these 3 and go through Antares. Now imagine that there's this letter S in the sky, kind of this crooked letter S. And that letter S is the next constellation, Scorpius, the Scorpion. We like to tell you to imagine it first before we bring up the lines, just to get your imagination flowing, get it going there and ready for what to see in the night sky. So here he is, Scorpius, one of the oldest constellations, long recognized as a scorpion, well before the Greeks. In fact, many of the star names, not just in this constellation, but several throughout the sky, come to us from ancient Arab cultures, very early astronomers who understood the night sky, or at least took very good observations of what was going on above and around them throughout the year. So that's why we still use several star names. Antares here, the brightest of the Scorpion, and just to help you out, here is the Scorpion. This is red-orange because of the temperature. It's not a very hot star. Remember from our colorful stars video that the cooler the star is, the more red-orange, and the hotter, the more blue-white. Antares here, it has the name of Antares because it means the rival of Mars, or the rival of Ares. Oftentimes, people would go outside, and if they look over here, they might confuse this star for the planet Mars, because indeed, they appear the same color and almost the same brightness. Now, Antares is actually about 600 light years away from us, and it's about 700 times the diameter of our own sun. In fact, if we were to put Antares in the solar system where the sun is, it would engulf the orbit of Mars. So it's a monstrous star, also sometimes referred to as the Scorpion's heart. But it kind of matches this sinuous body to this tail, the stinger of the Scorpion. That's not too bad at all. And then just between the Scorpion here and for this summer season, our 2 planets, we have one more constellation. Let's hide the Scorpion here just so we can focus in on Sagittarius, the Archer, or Sagittarius the Centaur. What's a centaur? In Greek mythology, this was a half-human, half-horse mythical creature. And in many stories, this particular character was very good with the bow and arrow. To be perfectly honest, it's difficult to see this mythical creature out of these stars. But that's why we come back to asterisms, pictures within a picture. Because we don't necessarily say look for all of the centaur, we say look for the teapot, which is most of the score of the Archer anyway. So when we clean things up just a bit here, you notice as we zoom in just a bit, we have these dark blue lines that show you the constellation, but then we have these kind of purplish lines to show you the asterism. That's the teapot. Here's the handle, the top, and the spout. Look for the teapot before you look for the rest of it. That's usually what works for people, and why not stick with what you know? Remember, it's all about familiar shapes. So this is an asterism, the teapot, just as the summer triangle, just as the Big Dipper are also asterisms. They're not official constellations, but they are patterns that remind you of something a bit more easily than these ancient depictions. So you notice that these constellations, they're not too far apart from each other in the sky. You just start in one area and then use that to find other things in the sky. You'll be amazed at what you can find. Remember to have the right conditions, clear, dark skies. We'll turn that moon glow back on and you see how muted things end up being. So have clear, dark skies. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the section below. Until next time, Space Cadets, keep looking up.